Welcome to the Online Success Journey podcast, your opportunity to discover and learn from entrepreneurs like yourself. This is not your typical podcast, but a place where you can get the real story and find out how real people encounter speed bumps and detours, but journey through to find success. Now here's your host for the Online Success Journey podcast, Patience.
Hello everyone and welcome to Online Success Journey. This is episode 19. Are you ready to join the clan? Today we have Ava Brown. Ava is an author, a speaker, a coach, an actress, also a mother. Hello Eva, I know the clan here is anxious to hear your story, so let's get started with the basics. Can you tell my clan a little bit about your background, about what you did before you started your online business? Take us right up to the last job or business before you are online.
Wow. I actually had my last job before I'm starting doing my own thing was being a business development manager in maritime for an American company. My journey, my life is that I am born in Jamaica to a mother of 9 children. I sold mangoes on the train rather than going to school a lot. I have been through some real deep issues, which you and I will touch on as we go deeper. Like I was molested by my father. I was held up and raped at gunpoint. I've had 2 failed marriages. Can you believe that? But basically, in a nutshell, I got to the place where I thought my story was so much. Somebody needed to hear about my story. I felt that I had something within me that others were experiencing, but were not brave enough to tell it. And that's how my journey began to be an online success.
Wow, that's a great background, Eva. So help us connect with you. Tell us one thing, either business or a personal, that we want to know, even if we have been seeing you on awards and everywhere online.
I didn't quite get that. Sorry. What did you say?
Tell us one more thing, a business or a personal, that we want to know about you, even if we have been reading all about you.
Juicy. I think you've been reading my mind. So I am single, and I know a lot of people don't believe that because they're like, no way, not you, girlfriend. But I'm really single, happily single, loving singledom, to the point where this morning I am going to start writing a book after I finish talking to you about being 40 and single. And a lot of people don't know that because you heard it first on Patient Radio, okay?
Okay, that's great. But anyway, you said you are unable to attend school in Jamaica. But how did you become a speaker and an author?
Well, I didn't go to school as much, so I went to some extent of school. We were poor, and I don't know if anybody listening understands poverty. Poverty is not just in Africa, as people try to portray it. Poverty is even in London. And I grew up in a house where we lived in a 10 by 12 room. My mom would use a sheet to separate the bed, like put a line across the bedroom and separate the rooms into 2. And we were so poor that when you were sleeping on the bed, you could feel the springs coming out of the bed. There was urine everywhere because we were all piled up in the one bed. And my stepfather lost his job and in the rice factory, and we had no food. So back home, we have lots of fruits and vegetables that you could just go and pick. Nobody would arrest you for it. And my mom taught me how to go and pick mangoes. She would dress them and send me to the market or to go on the train. So rather than going to school where I should be going to school, I was in that area selling mangoes. And, it's basically how it is. So I went to school to a limited extent. Left school without maths or English, left high school, no maths, no English. Today I've got 2 master's degrees. And all of that comes, patience, because of my persistence, my drive, and my tenacity to succeed, but also to break the cycle that I was born in.
Wow. But Eva, now you are successful. Did you have any failures, any sitting backs while you are trying to set up your online? Did you have any problems?
I don't like to think that I don't like to use the word I'm successful. I just think that I've made a change in my life because, For me, being successful for me means raising my two children on my own single-handedly. Success to me means seeing my daughter pass 11 GCSEs, having been raised by a single mother. That's what success for me is personally. In terms of my business, yes, there have been many challenges. One of the biggest one I found was funding. When you're starting on your own and you don't have any funds and you're a single woman as well, a mortgage, a car, the children doing their saxophone lessons, violin lessons, nursery costing you £1,000, you have limited funds. So one of the biggest challenges I found was finding funding. I also found that because so many of us are authors and speakers and coaches, it was a bit challenging. So I had to find a unique way to make myself different. And the moment I mastered that, and by the way, if anybody want to become become a private equity funder in my business, I'm open to that. I'm still looking funding. But when I became aware of the unique point that I could bring to the table, the moment I found that, I differentiated myself from everybody else.
Okay. I know Declan is anxious to know about you and how you went through this in part two, but tell us, what do you think is the reason for your success?
The reason for my success is really two things, really. I am extremely persistent. I do not give up. And the other reason I think for my success is that I see failure as feedback. So I have had many failures, but rather than sitting down and crying and saying, oh my God, and I bounce back, I tell myself, okay, so this is telling me that I need to look into myself. I need to look at what didn't go so well. And my kids drive me. I'm all they have. So I need to leave a legacy that is going to make sure that they have something, not necessarily financially, but they've learned skills from me to cope and to drive forward. But I also understand, and Patience, you probably know this too. I'm like the mouse in that classical conditioning where the more you tap that lever, you get food. So the more I pushed and persevered and saw failure as feedback, I got better results. And I was like, wow, hold on here. So if I push further, if I persevere more, if I see failure as feedback, then the results are this. That drives me. It really, really drives me. But I'm also driven when I see my clients succeed. When I see somebody who comes to me and they're broken, when I see somebody who comes to me broken, thought their life has ended, and I coach them into believing that, you know what, you can get out of there. When I see somebody come to me and say, I've got a story in my gut for 20 years now, and you are the person to help me tell it. When I see next week, I'm flying to Florida to launch a book for somebody who taught me in high school, that I taught, I held her hand and had her, had helped her through the writing process. And within 2 months, her book was ready. Those things drive me. Those successes of other people who I'm able to help drive me.
Wow. What is your motto in life, Ava?
My motto?
Yes.
2 words. Well, I tell you what it is. The word impossible says, I am possible. That's my motto. Very simple. The word impossible says, if you break down impossible into 2 words, it says, I am possible.
Ooh. Okay.
You never heard that one before.
Not interpreted that way.
Oh, Ava Brown told you so.
Okay. Ava, we know that everyone online and who are reading your books on Amazon, their needs, they want to be met, problem solved. My clan also is the hunger of entrepreneurs wanting to move their businesses forward. What is your focus and your specialty online?
What's my speciality? So I do 2 things. I've got 2 strands of what I do. I'm a transformational, I bring you a coach. So I move people from the place of lack and the place of where they believe that they cannot do anything, to bringing them to the place of letting them understand that they are possible. I bring you from a place of lack to a place of desire and want and need to live in your birthright, whether it's in your business, whether it's in your personal life, whether it's your relationship, because we all, no matter what we do, we all have that place where we're not sure. So I help you to cross over into a life of abundance, joy, and success, but also peace. That's what I do. I had to do it for myself. But I'm also a writing coach. So I take your idea, your story on a kitchen towel, your story in your gut, your story already written, your story already published but not doing well. I'm the book strategist. I help you to make your story come alive. I actually just last night recorded a program I'm going to be selling called How to Magnetize the Media from Writing Your Book. Because everything I do now, patients, was inside of me. But until I wrote my book, the Financial Times didn't know about me. The Guardian didn't know about me. I wasn't flown abroad to do interviews. The moment I wrote my book, and let me tell you something, business people, a book is your new business card. So listen to Ava. I'm telling you, your new business card needs to become your book. It doesn't matter if you're an expert. Find something to write about, write it well, and that becomes your business card.
Okay. Where do we find this fabulous book?
Oh, avabrown.com. So www.avabrown.org. And the reason I'm sending you there, I want you to see all of what I do. My book is there for sale. It's on Amazon, but then Amazon comes through my website. If you're in the US, it's at Barnes and Nobles online. It's at Double H Smith here in the UK. So it's really, really very available. And if you want signed copies, then you're going to have to email me at info@avabrown.org.
Okay. Clan, Eva is going to hang out and share more information about her journey with us. If you can relate to where Eva started her journey so far, or if you just want to learn more about Eva, you can listen to the extended version of her journey at onlinesuccessjourney.com. If you are listening at Online Journey, by clicking on part 2 of Eva's journey, you will get even more tips to help you with your own success stories, and you also see all our journey podcast. So check out Ava's book, Bamboo and Fans, at www.avasbrown.org//book/. Also on Amazon. You can also find all these links and learn more about joining the clan at onlinesuccessjourney.com. That's a wrap. Clan, remember, success is a journey. Patience and Eva. Join us in part 2 at onlinesuccessjourney.com.
This is not the end of the journey. We hope you've enjoyed listening to part 1 and want to be sure you know there is a second part to this and every journey podcast at onlinesuccessjourney.com, filled with even more success tips, uplifting stories, and even a bit of fun. There are dozens of episodes only available to the members of the Online Success Journey clan. Check out the website and click on Join the Clan for more information. Patience would like to thank you for listening to this podcast, and she has a free audio gift for you at her website. Go to onlinesuccessjourney.com for instant access to this gift. Of course, you know that listening to the journeys of others helps each of us chart our own path. So make sure you're subscribed to be notified as each new interview is posted. There are so many ways to stay connected to the Online Success Journey and to listen in. And if you're enjoying the podcast, we appreciate your help in telling others. One of the best ways to share the benefit you get is to rate and review it at Stitcher and other sites by clicking the stars or completing the ratings form, by clicking thumbs up and leaving a comment on YouTube, or liking and sharing the podcast on social media. To review the podcast within iTunes, simply open iTunes to the podcast, click on Ratings and Reviews, then write a review. On behalf of Patience, and until next time, thanks once more for listening. It is our hope that this podcast will guide you on your own online success journey.